Developing musicianship online.
Hello, and welcome back to DM Online. Today we continue the project we started last session of mixing down our acoustic band. If you remember, we mixed down the bass drum and the snare drum last time, and the bass drum was given gain staging to -18, then put through bus 2 on 2 channels, and in those two channels, one channel was dry and one channel had EQ and compression in it. On the snare drum side, we repeated the same process of gain staging to -18. We had the bus 3 as the channel to bus out to in 2 channels, one wet and one dry. The wet channel also had EQ and compression. At this point, we would start feeding out to our central drum location, bus 10, where we're going to combine all our drum sounds together. And we would tap a little bit of our sound off to the reverb to give us an ambient quality to the sound. So today, by the end of the session, we should have ourselves a whole full mixdown of the drum sound, starting with the cymbals, which is where we got up to, and then the tom-toms and the overheads, and finally combining those sounds together. So let's go. So again, with the cymbals, we're going to bust them out to 2 channels. So in this case, bus 4. And we'll have a wet and a dry. Now cymbals are picked up in 2 places. You've got hi-hats, which in the case of this is where the main idea is coming from in the time. And then you've got the overheads, which are going to carry the crashes and the ride and things like that. So this is just dealing with the hi-hat. Again, same process. Add the channel EQ. Unmute the channel. We can kill off the dry till we're done figuring out how far we want to push the wet. Don't need any bass. And we compress. And then mix the dry signal in with it. Now that's the fundamental drum kit: bass, snare, cymbal. Not worried about fills right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send this out to its collective channel, which I'm going to put a little bit of distance away because we've got a few other microphones to deal with. So we're going to go out to bus 10. And bus 10 is going to be 3 channels: left, center, and right. And this is where everything will go. But now we're going to hear what the kit sounds like glued together. So in order to get this stereo effect, I push one channel all the way left, one channel all the way right, leave the other one in the center, and I drop the left and right by 2 decibel so that it's slightly stronger in the middle than it is on the outside. And then we send the mix in. You can see that the masters that we've just added now have pushed the gain up further, so we need another gain control. Okay, at this point we've got a few choices. It's good to EQ the toms, and it's good to EQ the overheads and get that mix that you want. Probably the next best thing to put in would be the overheads, but this is a generic sound. It's a sound of everything happening together. So we could just give this a fairly light treatment. We probably don't need 2 channels running the overheads. However, you might want an overhead left and an overhead right, just in case you've got an imbalance, and then we need to EQ it slightly differently. You'll notice that the overheads actually bring life to the sound of the snare drum. It was quite dead. Now the room mics are actually picking up the acoustic qualities of that snare. Okay, and then the toms only really come into it when we've got the fills. So I'll go down to where the fills are and see if we can get a good sound out of our toms. So I'm going to treat the toms as a one collective group rather than EQing them separately. They need to sound good together. So I'll put them all into channel 7, and then from there they'll go out to channel 10, and I'll apply one set of EQing to all toms. So once you've gone through this process, then you've got your collective drum sound going into your left, center, and right. What I like to do is actually mute out my left and right and just work on the center to make sure the sound quality that I'm getting at the end of the row is what I'm looking for. So another EQ, another compressor will sometimes just help gel things together. Remember, we're a dry signal right now, I've got no reverb, so I'll add reverb to this mix as well. So at this point, I've got a collective sound of all the different instruments in the drum kit. Now I need to really hone in on that tone quality. I'm going to do that by compressing the drums one last time. Now I'll put the compressor in the center, but I will, or do have the option to put it to the sides as well once I have a compressor I like the sound of. So. And adding in my reverb. I put a low cut into the reverb just to make sure that the reverb doesn't get muddy. Okay, that basically completes the mixdown of the drums. It's a long process and you do need to take a lot into account, and even now, having gone through once, it's not really finished. I need to now go back through and really get the tone quality I want. So I'm going to leave it there, and next time we'll address the other instruments and how they layer on top of this and the process we go through to finalize the mix. So until next time, hope to see you again. Bye-bye.
DM, developing musicianship online.